Ever wonder why some products become legendary, while others just fizzle out? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that whole journey. We're talking from that first little spark of an idea all the way to making a real impact. So let's dive in. Okay, let's start with a number 92%. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a huge, kind of scary number, and it points to a massive, massive challenge for anyone trying to create something new. But what is it 92% of? Yep, that's the percentage of new products that completely fail to meet their goals. Think about that. For every one single product that becomes a huge success, there are at least 10 others that are basically left in a product graveyard. It's brutal. So the real question is, how do you stay out of that graveyard? Well, that brings us to the successful 8%. What are they doing differently? Is it just dumb luck? No way. The products that win, the ones that really make it, they don't just wander around hoping for the best. They follow a map, a clear, structured process that guides them every step of the way. All right, so where does this map begin? Right at the very beginning, of course, with finding a truly winning idea. This is what we call the ideation phase. And, despite what you see in the movies, it's almost never some magical eureka moment out of nowhere. So where do great ideas actually come from? Well, they're not just floating around in the air. You find them by looking in some pretty specific places. You can improve on something that's already out there or solve a problem that's driving your own team crazy. But honestly, one of the biggest sources? Just listening. Really listening to what your customers are complaining about. They'll tell you exactly what they need. And this kind of flips a popular idea on its head, right? We all think of brainstorming as this wild, chaotic, anything goes kind of thing. But in reality, when you're building a product, adding a little structure, a framework, is like putting a powerful lens on that creativity. It focuses all that amazing energy onto a single point, and that's how you turn a, hey, that's a cool idea, into, okay, here's our plan. Okay, so you've got your great idea. You've even validated it. Awesome. Now comes the hard part. Or, well, the next hard part. How do you take that idea that's just living in your head and turn it into something real? Something people can actually hold and see and use? This is the phase where things get really tangible. First, in design, all those abstract thoughts and sketches become actual prototypes that you can click on and play with. Then comes testing, which is basically an all-out hunt for every single bug, every little flaw. And finally, launch. And look, launch isn't just about pushing a button and hoping for the best. It's a super focused, strategic introduction to the market. It's a methodical march from a blueprint to a real live product. But here's the thing so many people forget. Launching the product isn't the end of the race. It's the starting pistol. The second that thing is out in the wild, it starts a whole new journey. A journey that, per pretty much every product, has 4 very clear, very distinct stages. It's a lot like a human life, really. Every product has a life cycle. There's the introduction, when it's just born. Then there's growth, when it's taking off. Then maturity, where things kind of level out. And finally decline. And knowing which stage your product is in, that's not just some business school theory. It is absolutely critical for making the right calls at the right time. And to make this crystal clear, let's talk about a company that has played this game like a grandmaster. I'm talking about Netflix. Their story is a straight-up masterclass in managing the product lifecycle. They didn't just navigate it, they totally mastered it. Just think about this for a second. Netflix launched their streaming service, which was a huge, risky bet at the time, while their DVD by mail business was still printing money. That's the absolute key. They didn't wait around for the DVDs to start declining. And by 2010, their new thing, streaming, had already completely taken over the old thing. That kind of foresight, that's what makes a company truly great. And the result of making that bold move? Just look at this. This chart says it all. We're not talking about just growth here. This is a full-blown explosion. Going from 6 million subs to over 200 million. This is what the growth phase looks like when you absolutely nail it. It's like a rocket ship taking off. But look, that kind of rocket ship growth can't go on forever. Eventually, you hit the maturity phase, and the whole game changes. The question is no longer, how do we get more customers? It's, how do we stop the customers we have from leaving? And that's exactly why Netflix started pumping billions into making their own original shows and movies. They needed to give you a reason to stick around when all the new competitors started showing up to the party. But even for the best of the best, that maturity phase has an expiration date. So, what happens then? What happens when a product hits that final, inevitable chapter? Decline. Well, this is where the truly brilliant companies separate themselves from the pack. They don't look at the decline phase and see death. They see an opportunity. They see it as a launchpad for a strategic pivot, a chance to take everything they've built, all that brand power and all those resources, and leap into a whole new game.
And once you start looking for it, you see this pattern everywhere. The PC market got saturated? Boom, Apple pivots to the iPhone. Selling software in boxes started dying out? Bam, Microsoft pivots to cloud services with Azure. Even McDonald's. When people started wanting healthier food, they pivoted to salads and new options. Each and every one of them used the end of one product's life to spark the beginning of their next big thing.
So that leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending thought. These life cycles, they're getting faster and faster. Tech changes, trends shift, and things become obsolete way quicker than they used to. So just take a look around you right now. Think about the phone you're holding, the apps you use every single day, even the car you drive. Which of those things do you think are still growing? And which ones might just be on the brink of decline, about to be replaced by something we haven't even seen yet?